Hey, what is going on, guys? Wallow J here, and I'm here with my co-host. He is a dream, the dream, Stephen Aiken.
What's up?
Say hello, say hello, Stephen.
Hello, Steven. It's the
I, I'm
bit
I'm off. I'm
for the
off on the
bit.
timing because normally it's first is egg,
I'm
then it's
last.
Miggy.
Yeah,
Yeah, normally. So
it's okay.
my rhythm is a little off. But anyway, joining us also PGF World Six athlete John Chandler. John, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm excited. First one, so first of many, I should
Yeah,
say.
that's
There we
right.
go.
He gonna remember us because we was his first.
Yep.
That's crazy. So, John, you're obviously a younger competitor on the scene. When you got the opportunity to compete at the PGF, did you think you were going to get to grapple any during that season?
Um, I didn't. I wasn't 100% sure, but I kind of just told myself every day it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I even wrote it down on a piece of paper. I'm big into like writing it down and trying to, visualize it and put it out there in the world. So I had a feeling it would happen, and I would get some changes in my life because of it. And I have, a lot of people have recognized me that I don't even know, like in other gyms and stuff, training, and
Nice.
really cool.
Very cool. How did you end up on the roster as an alternate for the PGF?
So, Coach Casey in 10th Planet Las Vegas, he hit up one of my coaches at 10th Planet Fullerton and asked me if there's anybody. And the coach over there, Andy Ballmore, had asked me if I wanted to do it, and he told me the guys are going to be a bit bigger. And I said, man, I don't care. I just want to go and get an opportunity. A lot of the dudes I train with are bigger than me and stronger. A lot of UFC fighters and good professional MMA guys. So I knew what to expect, and I just wanted the opportunity, man. I'm trying to change my life doing this stuff. So I thought it was a good starting tournament, something to help me get there.
Were you
Now,
familiar with the prior seasons of the PGF?
I had known about like the qualifiers because my coach Isaac Cordova from 10th Planet Fullerton, one of my coaches over there, he had done the
Double
qualifier,
dog.
won the
mm,
one that was in Decatur, and that's when I kind of heard about it, but I didn't know anything of it until I really went and saw it for myself.
Right on. I did see. I had no clue that you were training with Isaac. We've had him on the show before. Um, Unfortunately, he didn't make the season for. I think it was season 4 because he got hurt.
Yeah,
mm.
I can't quite remember what happened, but I know he got injured, and that was a bummer because he's a good competitor. It's fun to watch him.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. So, are you still training with him? What's up? How long
Those
have you been training with him?
Isaac Cordova and Andy Ballmore are my coaches for the past 3 years since I came back to California from Arizona, and then I started training with one of my old wrestling coaches that I've known since I was younger. They opened up like a wrestling center in Huntington Beach, and I had a lot of friends training there, and they do wrestling, MMA, and jiu-jitsu, and I like to do all three of them. So I thought it was a better fit, but I still cross train over at 10 Planet Fullerton because I still like the like strictly jiu-jitsu vibe and just getting to really get into the technique of things.
Oh, hell
So,
yeah.
John, with all those places you mentioned like 10th Planet and a wrestling school. Through your grappling experience, do you ever put on the gi? Are you interested in gi training at all?
I train the gi like once or twice a week, like Mondays and Wednesdays. The coach over at Orange County Regional Training Center, the wrestling center, he does a gi class like Monday, Wednesdays at 6 a.m., 8 a.m. So sometimes I jump in there. But to be honest, I do feel a lot more injury prone in the gi. I just like to do it for fun and to learn the skills.
No, I definitely can teach a lot more intricate, grip fighting style. What injuries do you think maybe are a little more prevalent when you're in the gi?
I don't know. I just feel like I get locked in a lot tighter. Like I was a wrestler growing up, and I like the to be squirmy and scrambly. So
Mm,
when they can grab a grip, sometimes I squirm and I scramble, and I hurt myself. But that's also why I like the training because it really helps slow you down and to understand the position. And like once you're in it, I feel like you're in it, unless you're really good at grip fighting and can get yourself free. But some of these guys, when they get a hold of you, and you're like, I'm going for the ride now.
yeah,
Right
no,
on.
it's
You
definitely
mentioned
true.
that you were living in Arizona.
Yeah, I had
Were you,
moved there in high school.
high school? Okay. Did you wrestle in high school?
Yeah, I wrestled eighth grade freshman year. Then I stopped sophomore year. I did jiu-jitsu for a little bit in the gi, and then I moved to Arizona, and there was nowhere to do jiu-jitsu, so I started wrestling again to make friends and just have something to do out there.
Right on.
You
Right on.
mentioned that they said the guys were a little bit bigger for the PGF this season. What do you normally like to compete at? What weight class?
Oh, like local tournaments or smaller ones, like 155. But like the trials was the only real tournament I was cutting weight for. I would cut down to 66 because I'm only about like 160, 165, and I know like 77 kilograms of trials dudes are cutting down from 85, 90, kind of, kind of how they work for PGF. So uh, that was the only tournament I was really cutting a 45 for, but the rest like 155.
Right on. How did you get into martial arts to begin with?
Honestly, probably growing up the Hulk movie. Watching the Hulk, I just thought it was so cool. My mom had got me these Hulk smash gloves, and I would run around trying to beat up all my cousins and everyone in the neighborhood and stuff. They'd have to take them away from me, man. I just loved it, and I think that's
A
where it started.
menace.
And then I did jujitsu in fourth grade in the gi for a little bit, but family life was a little rocky and stuff, so I didn't have like a motivator or someone like telling me to keep going. My mom worked a lot, so I kind of could just like do what I wanted in a sense until she came home, so that's where I stopped for a while. And then I started boxing in eighth grade, and the boxing coach told me to go find a wrestling school. And ironically, the high school right next to my house that same month opened up a feeder program for wrestling. So it was kind of like the timing was perfect. And I just started training there, and it was called Genesis Wrestling Club. And now Genesis Wrestling Club has turned into the Orange County Regional Training Center that I train at. So like over time, they just kept building and building, and they branched out of the high school and started their own training center.
That's cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. I feel like
Who,
it's hard to explain. People ask me how long I've been training, because like I did a year here, stopped for a while, then I did it for 3 years, then I did jujitsu, then I did wrestling again, and then I did jujitsu again. So I'd say
what,
eighth grade it all started.
what's the name of the coach that you said was the guy who made the change from, I guess, Genesis over to where now it's the Orange County
Orange
Regional?
County Training Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's been a bunch of different coaches, but I would say the main guys like funding it or like the owners of it is Tim McDonald and this guy named Jawad and Dave Thomas. They're all they all have their own businesses. Like one's a hand surgeon, one's like runs a Ford dealership, the other sells like wood, he owns like a lumber yard or something. But all their sons have wrestled, so they all got together and kind of made this happen for all the other young kids out there trying to wrestle and stuff.
Oh, that's very cool, man. Well, shout out to those guys. That's more of what I was wanting to get at is like, give shout outs to people out there doing the work, on a ground level, building stuff up like that is not easy. So props to them for doing that and giving people a place to train.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, how old are you? I mean,
I just turned 22.
I've been looking for shit online, and I'm like, I can't find shit on this guy.
It's nothing.
Still up and coming, man. This is a big opportunity for me, but I will make some waves pretty soon here. I'm determined. I work hard, and it's all I think about all day. It's all I do, so it's cool. But
Well,
what were
go
you gonna
ahead.
say?
No, I was just asking how old you are.
Yeah, I'm 22. I just turned 22 on May 29th, so like 2 weeks ago or so,
Okay.
a week.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
So you were just 21 while doing
Just
the PGF.
21.
Look at that. Yeah, 21.
Man, that's super cool that you're there. I saw you, I think, when I came in on like one of the first days of the thing where the draft was, and like I didn't know who you were at all. I was like, man, this guy looks like a grappler though. He looks like some kind of grappler. I wonder if he's like doing press. I wonder if he's got like, if he's like a writer or something like that. Cause you're kind of quiet and, just looking around more or less or something like that. And then, found out later on that day during the draft that you were, potentially going to get chances to mix it up with some of the top guys out there. And when you did get an opportunity, it was against AJ Agazarm, who apparently was somebody that you're familiar with at least in the training room and stuff. Was that a match that you kind of would have rather had somebody else, or are you happy that you had the opportunity with AJ?
I would have rather had somebody else just because he's a good friend and I knew exactly how the match was going to go. I knew I was going to try to shoot on him. He was going to try to Kimura the shit out of me the whole time. But yeah, kind of just like he said, to go all that far and have people go out of the way to cover the kids class and stuff like that for me. And I would have liked to face somebody with, that I didn't know, but at the same time, a lot of people, I gained a lot of respect from people that know AJ and have known him for a while. A lot of people were kind of shocked by the match, and people still come up to me and like talk to me about it and stuff. So that was really cool. He's a great competitor. So I was happy overall just to get the shot, but it would have been cool to go against someone like I was supposed to go against Andy Varela on the last day, but they put the other alternate in to save my energy. But I was like, man, it just would have been fun just to do it, just to say like you got to scrap with a guy like that who also loves to scrap. So
What were they saving your energy for?
I don't know. I just think they also wanted to give him the other guy a shot, but that's what Hegan has said. He's like, oh, let's save your energy for the next 2 matches because I think you have a better chance. And that was the match against Jamie Carnal and then Dane Leak that day. So I was gonna do all 3. I was gonna do Andy, Jamie, and then Dane Leak, but they pulled me and let the other alternate have the match.
Who was the other alternate? I can't remember. Was it
Pinero?
Pinero?
Alvaro.
Yeah.
Alvaro, yeah.
Yeah.
Alvaro, that was his
Okay.
name.
Yeah.
Okay. Right on.
Okay. I mean, that is fair, I guess, if you can give him a chance to have a match. But I'm sure, like you said, being a game competitor of the matches on the board, you'd like to get a crack at someone like Andy Varela just to kind of see what it feels like. You know what I mean? To see how
Get your
close you
feet
are.
wet.
Yeah, and after you have a match with them, you go and face some other dude. You're like, oh, dude, you're not Andy Varela, buddy. Like
Nothing. Yeah.
You're a bitch.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. You're no Andy.
Yeah, pretty much though. Pretty much, you'd be like, yeah. I mean, it was a huge confidence booster going and getting my hands on those guys, and like, I'm still humble about it, but I felt like, okay, like I'm almost there, and I felt when I came back going against guys my size, I felt way stronger. Like they didn't feel as heavy. They didn't feel like getting smushed by Matt Elkins for 10 minutes straight. I felt like, okay, I can probably.
He's tough.
So it was cool. It was good.
Maybe that's just maybe you gain confidence, and that's what it was.
Mm.
And you're like, nah, you guys are not as tough as you think you are.
Yeah, and I was telling my coach it was the first time in a while where I was actually that nervous. I was nervous, like I feel like a lot of other tournaments I don't get as nervous, but like this one I was like, man, everyone's watching you. There's a bunch of people on YouTube. All the people we have these big TVs up in the gym at the wrestling center, and there's kids class going on. There's like 40, 50 kids in there, a bunch of parents, and they just had it playing up on there, and I'm just like, man, everybody's watching right now. I'm like, this is a chance to like build myself up and hopefully get some private lessons, hopefully get more kids in class. So.
He's already thinking ahead. He's planning, bro.
Well, listen, John, I'm gonna let you know, man. We were all nervous, man. All of us were all nervous. So I think that's a good sign when you come into something like this. It's a healthy part of competition. I think to be a little bit nervous to show respect to the guys that you're coming up against. If you don't have a little bit of that in there, then maybe you're not always ready, or you're maybe playing on the wrong field, so to say. So you got a chance to level up and be out there on the big field. So I've had opportunities where I definitely feel like I didn't win the tournament or whatever, but you mix it up with some good guys, and then from that opportunity, you carry forward just like knowledge of yourself as somebody who is a capable grappler, who is able to hang with top 10, top 5, whatever guys in the world, even if you can't beat them or put them away or whatever, you can still have competitive outings and things like that. Your last competition though was an MMA fight.
Yeah.
Is MMA your main focus, or is that just also something that you may be doing just to kind of see what's up?
Growing up, I always wanted to fight. Like I joined wrestling because I wanted to fight, but as I did jujitsu and grappling more, I kind of found a love for it, and I like set all these goals that I really want to accomplish. But I also like the thrill of MMA and the money you can make. So, like the last MMA fight, I sold like 80 tickets and made like $1,000 for a 40-second armbar. I was like, that's pretty damn good. I think I'll do that again.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Give me another fight.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
this.
sign me up for one of them.
Yeah. And I don't know. It really it pushes me. I don't know. Like makes me more focused with everything I'm doing because it's a lot scarier. Like, I've been in a few street fights growing up and stuff, and like anyone could catch you with the clean punch. Anybody could rock you. Like, yeah, it's a lot scarier. I feel you got to be on top of your game. And you have to work a lot harder and be more serious with everything you're doing. It really helps me with my discipline. I like that aspect of it.
I
Right
definitely
on.
can see that. What else
So
you got,
let me
Weather?
ask you, what was your experience that week at the PGF like? I mean, normally we pride ourselves, the staff, Egghead, all the media guys, everybody involved to make sure that everybody feels, welcome and that they're having a great time. It was a little different this time because it was so big.
Yeah.
We're used to our seasons being a little bit smaller in a smaller venue. It's the big time now. How was your experience? How did you like it?
Dude, it was awesome. It felt like it reminded me of this wrestling camp I went to in the summer when I was younger, and just getting to hang out with all the guys and like watching how everybody kind of, people were rolling out their muscles, what they're cooking to eat, and just seeing like who's serious, who's not, who's taking it serious, who's not taking it serious. Like this guy's eating good food, I could tell he wants to come in here like a fueled machine. This guy is kind of, not eating as good, kind of whatever, might be smoking a little bit too much, or so to get to see. Yeah, I was in the 10th Planet House, so you could probably assume, but yeah, but it was cool, man. It also taught me how to rest. I feel like before, like when you want to reach the next level and you have like a never satisfied mindset, you always want to just go go go, and sometimes your body can't take that. So like going to the PGF and being like, I'm in Vegas, I didn't really have anything else to do. I did the morning training, and I was like, well, there's a chance I could have a match tonight, so I should just take a nap. And I would take a nap, and then I would show up to the matches, to watch. Or I was ready to compete, but the first couple of days to watch, and I felt just rested and ready to go. And then I kind of just took that with me back home, and I realized that, okay, I need to have like a period throughout my day where I get some rest, whether it doesn't have to be the 2-3 hour nap that I was getting when I was at PGF, but just to lay down for 45 minutes with my eyes closed and just like relax. I might not fall asleep, but then I get up and I feel like, all right, like recharge, reset, ready to go. And that was something I learned through the PGF, like during the week.
No, definitely. I think as a full time, martial artist, combat athlete, whatever term people want to use these days or whatever, you have to split your training up throughout the portions of the day. You got to be doing something in the morning, and then you need to be doing something at night, and you probably have to be doing some teaching or something like that at some point during the day, close to around all that stuff too, man. So I definitely think that, and I found that once I got that little 20, 30, 45 minute, whatever, low power nap session in, that I can reset and feel like basically like, restart the day and be ready for another session to go hard, again. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think that's a good thing to be thinking about at a young age, instead of, pushing yourself so hard that by the time you are good enough, your body's just broken down because you haven't gotten proper rest and things like that.
100%.
Right on. So, what's your normal preparation for, let's say, a match or an MMA fight?
Mm-hmm.
What 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 does your preparation look like?
Yeah. So kind of, I usually lift weights every day, and I go to like at the wrestling center, there's like a sports trainer there, and I go there Mondays and Wednesdays, and that's a lot more like explosive and cardio based stuff and fast twitch. and a lot and some strength and stuff too. Just depends what we're getting ready for. And I always do jujitsu at least once or twice a day. Usually twice. I love to do it, and I know that like I don't have to go hard. I can just go on the mat and flow around. And usually when I'm feeling tired, I just pick somebody that might not be the best at jujitsu and just kind of help teach them through the move that the coach is showing, and then I won't have to be like going balls to the wall, like knee slice, or whatever you're going over. I can just be like, oh, this is how you do it, and then help walk them through it. And I'm getting better at coaching and doing the move. So always that when I'm tired. And then we have like an MMA practice at 12:30, and I usually do that every day. And if I'm getting ready for MMA fight, then Tuesday, Thursday nights, I'll go to my friend's Muay Thai gym and train some Muay Thai there. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
What's the name of that gym?
What's that?
What's the name of the gym? The Muay Thai gym?
The name of the gym is Lineage Muay Thai in Seal Beach, California. It's a super
Oh,
cool
right
spot.
on.
If we're in the area, you should definitely go and check it out. It's especially, it doesn't matter what age you are, but there's a lot of younger guys in there that are working hard, and it's just a cool vibe. Everyone's there hanging out, even if they're not working out. They have these big like sliding doors, and everyone just outside chilling in the sun. And there's a lot of good guys in there. You can see some of the best guys around striking in there. So it's a really cool spot.
Is it traditional Muay Thai, or are you thinking, more of a, I don't know what the term is, but more of where MMA Muay Thai
Yeah,
school?
it's traditional Muay Thai, but a lot of the guys in there are kind of switching over to MMA now because there's so much money in it, and these guys have done so many like Muay Thai fights, and they're striking so good. Now they're going into like professional MMA, and it's honestly harder for them to find a fight right now
Mm.
because they're so good. Like their striking is top level. A lot of people that want to face them are usually grapplers, just want to take them down and try to hold them down the whole time and take away that superpower they have on their feet.
Mm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your hands?
Uh,
Why'd that feel like a call out? I don't know.
I'm no yeah, I wouldn't say like I'm anything special, but I would say that I don't know. I like to get in there. I like to bang. I don't mind getting hit. If anything, it gives me that little chip on my shoulder. Like, all right, motherfucker, let's get this shit.
Hey, that's what's up, Wallow. He said he'll sit in there and bang if you want to get in there. What's up?
That's right. Stick that chin out. Let me test it.
I'll get there though. I'll get there. I have great coaches and great people to train with. And I did some boxing and stuff when I was younger. I feel like my boxing is better, but like throwing kicks and stuff is still needs a lot of work.
Mm.
Okay, right on. Now you mentioned goals. You also mentioned money. Money's getting pretty good in jiu-jitsu nowadays. We PGF threw a hell of a season. Gave away I believe was a total of 140 or 130 grand total to the athletes.
Yeah.
And there's another tournament coming up called CJI that's
Yeah.
giving $1 million away. So the money's starting to get pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's
I
getting there.
mean, so you have the best of both worlds because you like to do MMA and you like to also do jujitsu.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one or the other, let's say jujitsu or MMA, which one are you going to stick with? Since the money's getting better now,
I would
just
say
keep that in mind.
I would say jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Obviously you're not
Less
getting
head trauma.
it's a little less like CTE and taking like a lot of damage to the body, which you still do it in jiu-jitsu and grappling, but I don't know, it's something that has been part of my life since I was a little kid doing the grappling, and I don't know, I've always loved it, and I would just choose it over that because I feel like I can do it for longer. Also, I think if you're smart, you take care of it, you can do it for a lot longer. And um, a lot of people, I think nowadays, are seeking out good grapplers and jiu-jitsu coaches, and are willing to pay better money too for just coaching. So when the competing's over, to open my own school and stuff like that.
Well, I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of those older guys that we were doing, MMA. Maybe start coming back and doing some matches because money's getting better.
Yeah, for sure.
Money's got, and it's going to keep getting better.
Yeah.
So
Everyone's
I think we'll
trying
see.
to top each,
We'll see a lot of that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said everyone's gonna keep trying to top each other and make the next best tournament.
Yeah. I mean,
So
that's
with
competition right there.
prestige or money though?
Prestige or money?
Yeah.
So you mean like being the best in the world or having the most money in the world from this?
Yeah.
Being
That's
the
a
best.
great way to put it.
Being the best.
But you're
Okay.
broke. But you're broke.
Fuck.
It,
I don't
okay,
want.
not broke. You
He's
can
like,
pay.
wait
You know
a
what I'm saying?
minute, I gotta pay bills,
You can
motherfucker.
pay your bills, but you can only get Starbucks like twice a month or something.
Oh my gosh. I'm taking. Honestly, I'll be a seller. I'll take the money, man. Like I'm trying to have a family and kids one day, so I want the money.
Oh
No,
man.
I understand, man, and it's a tough. I think there'll be money with the prestige
For sure.
definitely as things keep going forward. But right now, it definitely feels like that's the choice that's being put between before a lot of athletes with the ADCC and CJI situation. Do you have an opinion on ADCC and the CJI Craig Jones Invitational?
I think what he's doing is awesome and what needs to be done. I feel like it's going to bring some changes. When I started doing Nogi Jiu Jitsu in 2020, people always talked about ADCC and Gordon Ryan, all these guys. And I remember going home that night and being like, all right, who are these guys? And I looked them up and I was like, oh, yeah, I want to be like that. And, but now it's changing, because it's like, oh, like you said, it's either you go and win that and be the best at your weight, or go and win this thing where you get like $1 million is life changing. If you use it correctly and you have the right people around you to teach you how to invest it and try to make it grow. And so I think that's really cool, and I think it needs to be done to kind of, like you guys said, change jiu-jitsu and bring more or other tournaments, more opportunities for everybody. Because it's like ADCC was at the top, and now people are trying to get there, and they're surpassing it. And someone's going to try to surpass CGI, and I think it's just going to keep growing.
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, I guess of everybody. I mean, jiu-jitsu hasn't had money like this ever, so it's great to finally see athletes getting that chunk that they deserve. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we're watching our homies compete. We don't care what banner they're competing under. We're gonna support them. So I mean, I
You
think
know,
it's great. It's competition. Competition is gonna raise the bar, and people are gonna have to start stepping up with their tournaments. That's bottom line.
Yeah.
for
Go
sure.
ahead, Dream.
No, I was just saying. I think it's just one of those tough things, where change is slow sometimes, and then other things are a catalyst for change to start happening fast. Uh, and hopefully, this is just that with the CJI, the PGF, and Septerio is doing a $100,000
Yeah.
tournament, and I've heard of some other guys doing 10K for kind of tournaments and stuff pretty routinely. Um, it's good for the sport. It's great for athletes. I retired, from MMA and went over to grappling and things, like you guys were mentioning as a, second thing to do. So you didn't have to quit competition and give up on it because, fighting has a really short shelf life. And I think grappling has a longer one, at
Yeah.
least, to a degree. What we're seeing though, and I want to ask you if you agree with this though, but it's starting to turn younger and younger and younger to where guys who are at, your age or 20, the young 20s now are starting to be more of the, upper echelon than they were, say, 5 or even 10 years ago. Uh, what do you think about that? Do you think it's starting to really turn into more of a young person's game? Or do you think that, still there's a lot of room for, say, the 30 to 35-year-old guys to be elite level competitors?
I would still say it's a young man's game, just because they heal quicker, they're in their prime, they're hungrier, and but I still think anybody can do it. If they really want it, and they have the right people around them and coaching. And it's crazy. Like even at the wrestling center, there's kids that are homeschooled that are in there getting private lessons and training like all day, dude. It's insane. I'm like, do they even go home remembering half the things they learned? Like they've been on the mat for 5 hours. I'm like, this is cool. It's crazy, man. Like times are changing, and I do think it's a young man's game, and I think there's going to be a lot more kids coming out of the woodworks just on fire, ready to take over.
Yeah, because like you said, you mentioned that you were training at 4 years old, to some degree, right? And now that means you've been training at least to some degree for
Almost 20
almost 20
years.
years,
Fourth, fourth,
your entire
fourth,
life, essentially.
yeah, I started in the gi in fourth grade, so that was
Oh, fourth grade. Okay,
yeah
sorry, I misspoke.
for a
Okay,
year. Stopped
but
until eighth.
still,
So I would say eighth grade, but you could add the extra year in.
okay. But so that's what I mean, though.
Still
Still,
10 years, 10
I
plus
started
years.
training when I was 25 years old, and still, had a moderate amount of success fighting and grappling, and quickly saw that youth was starting to take over by the time I was getting really good. But now, like I say, I see it a ton where these phenoms where they're 17, 18, 19 years old. The Rotolos were one of the first ones that we kind of saw that were doing that. And gosh, I can't remember the kid's name now from AOJ.
Cole Abate.
Yes, and we saw him be really elite level, right away, almost as a young guy. So I think there's a lot to be said for the way that it's going. Um, I'm interested to see which one of the rule sets is the one that kind of sets the bar here. That way we can kind of see what more people are going to be training, because whatever sets the bar for the money, and we have like the UFC, for example, 3 5-minute rounds with, the unified rules and etc. So once we find that in jiu-jitsu and stuff, then we'll start to see what the sport's going to look like. I think for sure that way. Do you think that more of an ADCC style tournament is going to be what wins, like a points tournament, or do you think more of a submission only style is going to be what kind of takes over the sport as far as dollars?
I kind of like the half and half rule. Uh, Submission only at first, and then the points at the end, just to kind of try and seal the deal. I do like that style a lot, but I think whatever the people want and whatever is drawing attention and bringing people in. But I like the half and half, but I think they could do it a little bit longer where, more of the match is submission only, and then just like the last 3 minutes, right? But like the trials is like 6 minute matches, possible 3 minute overtime, but instead doing like 6 minutes sub only, and then 3 minutes of the points at the end, giving them a little more time to do the sub only. But in the end, someone could still be a winner, win the match if they score some points towards the end. Because I feel like at that point, sometimes it comes down to the gas tank and who's mentally stronger and more prepared to push through that, get the win.
For sure, I think we saw a lot of that too. People were talking about it at the PGF. 6 minutes is really uh, a short amount of time to get a elite or even a good level athlete that's in shape, good conditioning, broken in a way that you can start taking advantage of it. Would you? So you're saying you'd like to see maybe a 9 minute match where there's like a 6 minute submission only and 3 minutes of where they start scoring it for the points? Is that what you're saying?
Something like that, but the math just like more sub only and less of the points. But throwing the points option in there just in the end to see, like who
Like,
really wins, because sometimes it's
that's cool.
what it takes,
No, I think that's cool. I think that's pretty interesting. And even if it was something like, I don't know, maybe like the last minute is when the points kick in or something. I don't know. Maybe that's too short. I don't know. Something like that could be fun. That way, like you said, there's a way to to go ahead and pick that winner to move on to the next like round. Because in a tournament format, you need a clear winner to move to the next round in a tournament. Whereas like in the PGF, there's a season of matches that you're going to get in, so it didn't matter if you won, lost, or had a draw. But so in the bracket, you definitely got to have like a clear winner. Um, that's cool. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in that style where you could shorten it, the points and or however for submission only. Uh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Are there any organizations right now running that rule set where they're doing, partly, sub only for a certain amount of time and then points? Do you
ADCC is
know?
one that I know, and all the other
That's
tournaments
it.
kind of like following the rule set. Like I'm pretty sure the Zapatero one is doing the ADCC rule set also.
Yeah, they were doing EVI for a long time, and I think they've switched over to ADCC, and we saw a big jump after the last one, to where lots of tournaments were starting to try to do a modified ADCC style rule set. Uh, I think what gets a lot of people with that is it's super specific on how like you got to have a certain percentage of the back pinned for so long and things like that. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. That seems like it's a little bit extra detail for people to get wrong, in that way. What's a better way instead of having like super intricate scoring like that, to where it's like if you got to get 75% of his back down for 3 seconds, and there's so much like interpretation. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Um, I don't have much. It is a tough rule, because it's like even in wrestling, like a high level guy, it's hard to pin them on their back and keep them there for the amount of time you need. So it's like to completely pin them is pretty tough, and to get 75%, I think there could be some manipulating to that rule, but I also kind of like it too, because it makes it more challenging. It makes it harder to score, but yeah,
I think if you're looking at it from the combat aspect, I guess that makes sense, because if you can pin them completely, then you're definitely going to be able to. You should be able to start dominating a fight if you can get them completely pinned like that. Maybe that's part of that aspect we're not thinking about here. Um, that's cool though. I don't know, man. I'm a nerd for all the different rule sets. It's one of the things I talk about in my school all the time. Is like the rules dictate the fight. Whatever the rule set says is what kind of is going to determine what starts happening. Because as soon as you say we can punch, then I'm going to stop doing a lot of things that I was doing when I couldn't punch and just start trying to punch.
for
Uh,
sure.
so, how many different rule sets have you competed in? Do you think at this point?
Quite a bit. This next one that I have coming up is for the USA Grappling World Team Trials, and
Okay.
that's like you can't pull guard, but if you get taken down to your butt, you can play guard. There's a push out point. Like if someone shoots you off the mat, you get 1 point. I think that rule set's kind of cool if you're a wrestler. I've done the ADCC. I've done some EBIX submission only. Like there's a tournament. I haven't seen them as much anymore. World Series of Jiu Jitsu. They have
Okay.
like a big check. That was a cool one. That was like EBI submission only, and like local Nagas and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I've done most of them.
I mean, you like to throw hands too. What's going on with maybe some CJJ?
Dude, I have been trying that. That has been biggest goal. I want to get on the combat jiu-jitsu bracket, man. That would be my dream. That's one of my like top 5 goals in jiu-jitsu is to win combat jiu-jitsu worlds 100%. Since the day I saw it, I was like, that's what I want to do, because I love MMA, but I love jiu-jitsu, and I like the fact of like you're getting smacked, but it's like you got to get caught pretty good and pretty like you were being a dumbass to get knocked out.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
happened.
It's
I've
happened.
I
seen
mean,
Damian Anderson knock out a dude on CJJ.
That's what I'm talking about. That guy kind of was just on his back. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I've done enough MMA to be like, not just laying there, like,
yeah.
trying to leg lock this fool. Like, no, I'm wrestling up, bro. I'm getting on top.
Yeah, you can't lay back. You can't lay back like that when there's strikes involved or whatever, because that was just an easy, just like straight palm to the, that's
Beautiful.
crazy. But check this out though. Like I think, like, hey, let's politic for our boy right here to get on combat jiu-jitsu worlds right here. We got Brandon. If you're watching this or whatever, my boy John. You guys have met. You know Eddie. Eddie was there at the PGF refereeing and stuff. You guys know John. You know what he can do. You know he's going to bring the energy. You heard him today how much he's training, how ready he is for this moment. I think we got to make a push to get John on the next CJJ card that's coming up, whenever that is for the weight class that you're close to.
Bro, listen, you have some pull too, bro. You're the dream.
Listen, I'm
You
doing
have
that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to pull. I'm starting some pull.
I appreciate it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think there's a tournament or kind of like a super fight thing called Subversive.
Okay. Yep.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Subversive, the Samson actually, he was on the PGF card. I don't know if he owns it
Right.
or he runs it. He's part of people who
He's
run it.
part of it.
Yeah, I talked to him back in a combat jiu-jitsu match on that, and I think he had found an opponent. So I think I'm gonna do that in September. So that'll be the first one. But
Ah, look at you. Oh
still,
shit.
still CJJ. I want that belt.
That's what's up, man. Subversive, they're the homies. They're good folks. So that'll be
Yeah.
exciting, man. And I didn't know I didn't know Samson was doing that much work with Subversive. That's cool for him. That man's into a little bit of everything though. He's out there hustling hard,
Yeah.
competing, taking photos, and making
Video.
matches. Yeah, he's doing a little bit of everything,
He's
man.
the
That's
he
dope.
does it
Samson's the man.
all, bro.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really cool, man. I've known him for a little while from when I was in San Diego. He dropped in and trained with us out there. So he was really cool. So
Hey, John, quick question for you. Who gave you that little souvenir you got right there?
Shiner,
yeah.
dude. Actually, it happened in jiu-jitsu.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, no, it always happens. It's ironic too because the day before that I don't know, I was just like thinking, man, it's been a while since I got a black eye. I used to get them all the time in wrestling, and the next day I got boom, just got popped. It was huge before. It's probably one of the worst ones I had. Like you might not be able to see it, but it's all green and yellow right now.
Yeah, I see it.
It's gross.
it's gnarly. That's
Shit,
how.
I
And
was
you
like,
guys are probably flow rolling, right?
I was trying to camp pass on somebody, and his knee just came and smacked me right in the face. I was like, yep.
fuck, I thought
It's
you were
fair.
throwing hands and shit. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Knees.
Listen, before we go, give a shout out to your school, your coaches, and your supporters, sponsors. If you got any, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, shout out to Orange County Regional Training Center for everything they do. There's so many coaches there. We got Jesse Doyle, Jeremy Thomas, Jake Woodley, Duron Wynn, all high-level Division One NCAA guys. Justin Thomas, just the whole support that I have from everybody there. They help buy me food when I don't have money for food. They help pay for tournaments, hotels to get me out to go and do these things. And I wouldn't be where I am without them. And shout out to Coach Andy Balmore and Isaac Cordova at 10 Planet Fullerton for like starting me on this journey and just opening my eyes to what the possibilities are and believing in me, and thank you to my mom for everything she's done for me and my two sisters. They're my main source of motivation. It wasn't very easy growing up, and I always told them, we're going to be successful and like this is part of it. And there might not be a lot of money right now, but I always just tell myself and other people like this is a delayed gratification, the process of delayed gratification. I know it'll come. It just isn't here right now. And yeah, man, thanks to God for my life and everything that I do. And I'm just excited to keep going. And this year's been crazy. It's changed so much. It feels like all the hard work that I've been putting in is like, I'm not there yet, but it's just like, I just made such a big jump by this, the MMA fight, everything, after the PGF, after that, I gained like 150 followers on Instagram. And that's never
Fuck yeah,
happened.
that's what's up.
Or like 150, but to me I was like it was badass.
Yeah.
For sure,
Bro, we all start somewhere, You
Man,
start with
I'm so hyped for you right now. Just like
yeah, me too.
all of
Yeah.
that, like you could tell it's genuine too. All the things you said right then is really genuine. The thanks to the people that are helping, so much of that. I feel that from back in the days. Now I feel like being the elder statesman now. It's been a long time since I was striving that hard, man. But it's nice to see somebody who's out there hustling like that and really really putting it on the line and has such a passion for it, dude. So I'm definitely a fan, and I'm pulling for you, dude, for sure.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. We're all friends now. Like whenever I see you guys,
Definitely, dude.
Bro, we're
100%, man.
family now, bro. Once
Yeah.
you're in the PGF, you're family, bro. So
I appreciate the opportunity. It's huge for me. What number is this episode? Isn't there an episode number?
yeah, it's 111.
111.
Triple one.
111.
Go.
The one,
111.
all ones is the one.
All
That's
ones,
it.
baby.
We're the ones.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you
That's
so much
perfect.
for tuning in. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you next week. Adios, muchachos. Hasta luego. Sayonara.